Let's Talk Oculus is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to know how to support the show, go to patreon.com/playtestvr. What's up, Oculus nerds? Welcome to Let's Talk Oculus, episode 19. As always, I'm Dan from Playtest VR and Captain Kirk himself, Samson. Samson, how's it going?
Oh, it's going well. I haven't gotten in VR too much this week, but yeah, we'll hear why I'm Captain Kirk a little later on.
Definitely. So in today's show, we've just got games, and more games. We'll be talking about Medal of Honor, Lone Echo 2, Resident Evil 4, Walkabout Mini Golf, and along with that, we'll be talking about what we've been playing and with the latest releases. So it's just all games in this episode. But first, before we get onto that, 1 second, I want to just give it a shout out to ModMic. I'm using their mic right now, and so is Samson. They sent me this mic, so I just want to give a shout out to the folks at ModMic. You can just change any headset into like a gaming headset in a way with this microphone. So I'm just testing it out for this episode. But first, for a little housekeeping for the audio listeners, if you want to see the video version, head over to Let's Talk Oculus YouTube channel, and for you video watchers, check out the audio version on all good podcast streaming websites and all the rubbish ones as well. And if you want to be part of the show, head over to letstalkoculus@gmail.com to send in your questions. And if you want to support us, patreon.com/playtestvr for any early access episodes. And we also have a Discord link all in the description below, so definitely check them out. Now, before we get onto the games, or the news story, shall I say, we have a new reality show for Oculus, right? That's coming every Friday called Game On VR Face Off. Samson, do you want to talk a little bit about that? Let the people know if they're not aware of it.
Yeah, so it seems like they're taking two of their streamers from Facebook Gaming and putting them in a mixed reality competition. The first one that released was in Pistol Whip. And so it just puts them against each other, and who can get the highest score wins. And then I believe the loser had to do some sort of
Challenge at the end.
Yeah, some sort of challenge at the end. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, really quality mixed reality footage, camera moves around and all that.
It's really well done, to be fair. The episode that came out on, I think it came out on Wednesday, the prior week for those listening on the public streams. It's on the Oculus YouTube channel, and essentially do just have two, like, it's not VR streamers, they're just two gaming streamers who are actually together as well, and they play in Pistol Whip. And I don't think they've tried VR before, right? It doesn't sound like it in the actual video.
It really doesn't. One of them's like, I hope this isn't a game where you move around a lot. I'm just like, this guy's never heard of Pistol Whip before.
Yeah, definitely. But it's to me, it feels like a little staged. But at the same time, I think it's a really good way to show off VR, because Facebook have made a really good mixed reality set. And they're just, the production quality is through the roof. And it's only around 6 minutes long. So hopefully that just becomes like some sort of video that us VR folks can share to other people, just so they can see what VR's like and just get a little taster through the mixed reality setting.
Yeah, the basic population understands how a reality TV show works. It really feels like any other reality TV show. Mm-hmm. You have like sort of interviews to like fake mad at one another, and all that. But yeah, production value is really high. And if it gets VR in front of, I mean, each of these people has over 100,000 Twitter followers. I didn't even check their, Facebook gaming stats or whatnot, but it'll definitely get VR in front of a whole new crowd.
Definitely. And if you're listening, Oculus, hit us up. I'm sure me and Samson want to be part of this gaming show.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be fun. All right, let's get into our first news story, and that is that Medal of Honor Above and Beyond has been announced for the Oculus Quest 2. Now, this is a game that already came out on PC VR last year to a lot of critical negativity, I should say, because it just didn't really perform well on most PCs. For some reason on mine it worked well. There was a YouTube video about that. But it will be coming to the Quest 2 natively, and it will feature both the single player and the multiplayer. A lot of rumors when this first the game actually came out for PC VR, they did say they're going to try and get it to Quest, but a lot of people thought it would just be the multiplayer because, first of all, on the PC version, the game's around 170 gigabytes. And second of all, it's massive. And second of all, it wasn't running well. So people just thought maybe they'll just focus on multiplayer. But no, both of those are coming, as well as the gallery. And for those of you who don't know, the gallery is a collection of documentaries that they filmed with the veterans or the ones that are still alive, which was produced especially for the game itself. So this game, 170 gig on the PC, it's going to be 40 to 45 gigs on the Oculus Quest 2.
Time to get rid of that 64 gigabyte model, man.
Yeah, I have a 64 gig, and to all those who have 64 gigs, those of you who know, 64 is not actually 64. It's actually 52.7 gigs of usable storage. So I might have to delete every single game in order to play this game on the Oculus Quest 2. But unfortunately, there's no real cloud saves on Oculus Quest either. Only a few games support that. So it's a big problem for the 64 Questers.
Yeah, it is. Kind of feel for them. I think I saw somebody on Reddit said it'll start being called the Medal of Honor Quest. Because that's the only thing will fit on it. That and probably Beat Saber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, I mean, did you play it on the PC or not?
No, I didn't. I didn't think it would run on my 1060, quite honestly. So and the reviews were not so great. So
it was an expensive game as well. It was like $50 or something at least.
I'm curious if the cost will be exactly the same for the Quest model. But yeah, we touched on this like last week when we were, I forget what game we were talking about, but like it was probably Resident Evil because it's the Quest 2 exclusive. Like if they can, I mean, push more Quest 2 exclusives, it's incredible what they can do. I saw I watched the trailer for it and it looks amazing.
Yeah, the trailer actually, I don't know if I put it side by side from the original trailer that came out last year, but when I saw the trailer, I was very impressed. I was like, this actually looks really, really good. Yeah. But yeah, so they've put a lot of effort into it. The producer, one of the producers, the executive producers, have been on Reddit responding to different people's questions. So I just wrote down a couple of things that people asked. First of all, as Samson just said, it is Quest 2 only. This will not be playable on Quest 1 for any reason. So this is going to be the second game that is only Quest 2, the other being Resident Evil 4. A Reddit user also asked if the gallery with those collection of video files could be optional just to reduce the file size. And the producer responded with, and I quote, "We considered this, but the videos are actually not that big. The trade-off to make it an optional install wasn't worth what it would mean to the rest of the game," end quote. So it looks like the whole package is going to be in there and it's going to be 40 to 45 gig. Cross-buy is confirmed. So if you have bought it on the Oculus store for the Rift, you will get it for free, which is awesome because I did buy that. I think it was like $55. It was one of those expensive ones. Same price as Half-Life Alyx as far as I'm aware. But cross-buy is confirmed. But if you bought it in Steam, obviously cross-buy won't work because it's out of the Oculus ecosystem. So cross-buy is confirmed, but cross-play it will not feature. So you will not be able to play with PC players. I don't think this is much of a concern, to be honest, because I don't think the PC player base for Medal of Honor was that much anyway. And I think it's going to do well on the Quest 2, where most of the player base will be on there. If it was the opposite way around, if it came on Quest 2 first and then they were making a PC version, I think they'd have to make it crossplay, but I don't think it matters for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that like pretty much right off the bat, the multiplayer in Medal of Honor PC was pretty empty.
Yeah. It's pretty empty. I couldn't even get a game sometimes. It just wouldn't match to anybody because there won't be anyone on it. Another fact is that it won't run at 90 hertz. It will run at 72 hertz. And there are moments of intense action where it will dip below that as well. And the producer, again, he quotes, "Again, I can't stress how monumental of a task it was getting this to run on a mobile computer probably is what I missed out there," end quote. So first of all, I'm very impressed. They've just managed to get it on there. And I think they won't be pushing it, or they won't bother to release it unless I did actually run decently well. Because if this is going to be another one of their two big blockbuster games coming out this fall for the Quest 2, not counting Lone Echo as well, as we'll get onto that a little later on, this is going to have to be playing well. There's no way they're going to push it this much if it wasn't going to be playing well, because it's going to be an expensive game. It's been kind of leaked that it's going to be $40 through the code. Someone's gone through the code on the actual Oculus store, and they've found that it says $39.99. So it's an expensive game as well, considering or relative to all the other games as well. So they're going to have to nail this, and I hope they do. But the trailer, once again, even though I already played it, the trailer got me hyped again.
Yeah, they're going to really have to nail this one because, you don't want to flop twice on the same game.
Yeah, 100%. They don't want, no, they don't want, that's the thing, right? It got so much negative press when it came out. But my only concern about it as well is that even though it had that issues with the performance and such, the actual game wasn't well received well. Like a lot of outlets gave it probably a 6, maybe a 7 out of 10, had a lot of pacing issues. I guess those issues probably have not been fixed. They have put a lot of patches since the game came out and since those reviews came out to try and improve the pacing. Personally, for me, who has played it, I haven't finished it because I got probably halfway through and then I had to update it, and the update was like 100 gig. And the thing is, if you interrupt the update with anything, it's not gonna. It reboots and you have to start it all again. And I just never had time to do a 4-hour update. I should have just left it on when I went to bed, but then it would interrupt. So
good thing you bought it on the Oculus store then.
Exactly. But for a person who has played it, what I have played, the first half of it, I loved it. I'm a big fan of it. I love the fact that you can grab a grenade and take it off with your mouth and throw it as well. And the gunplay felt really good. The little action scenes that we did have was fun, albeit quite short, mission to mission. But yeah, I'm excited for people who don't have the big PC to play this. Personally, for me, for example, I don't have the PC anymore. So I'm excited to jump back in as long as I get a bigger Quest.
Yeah, I mean, even me with my 256, I'll have to move some things around to fit 40 to 45 gigabyte game. But yeah, this will probably be a day one purchase for me. I'm excited for it.
Here's another question on this topic then. This being 40 to 45 gig, which is the biggest game on the Quest by maybe 4 times. I think the biggest game on Quest right now is 12 gig. It's the biggest game on Quest by a country mile. Can you see games like this being more frequent? I'm just thinking something like Lone Echo. If they can port something like Medal of Honor to the Quest 2, can they do Lone Echo as well? But albeit a massive file size.
Yeah, I think it will definitely become more normal, especially as more Quest 2 exclusives are released. They'll just have to do something with the save files, right? Like you'll have to be able to uninstall a game, keep the save files, and reinstall it later or something like that.
Yeah, there has to be some sort of cloud saving. I know you can technically move your save files off via side quest, but people buying Quest might not have a PC in general. They might just have like an iPad or something as they use as a daily driver. So I'm excited in the long run. Let us know in the comments below or on letstalkoculus@gmail.com what you guys think about this game. I'm super excited. They just said coming out this fall, They haven't released a release date yet, but there'll be more details soon. We do have the Connect in 28 days now, 27 days on the time of recording. So it's coming soon, and I'm sure they're going to announce a few things at the Connect, and then it will drop probably the week after, if not a few days after. I think this is the early November release.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely. But that was a big news, and now we move on to Lone Echo 2, which now has a final release date of October 12th. So just over a week away. It is going to be the last Oculus PC VR title. Are you excited, Samson? I've not got the PC set up anymore, so I won't be able to play it, but
it'll probably be a little while before I get into this one. I have played a few hours of Lone Echo 1. I really enjoyed it, but then I just I've started playing other things, I guess. But yeah, it's very beautiful. I imagine this one will be just as beautiful. And yeah, it'll probably be an excellent game.
Yeah, the first one was fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I just thought it was a very relaxing game in a way, because you can play it seated really well, really easily. Same as Red Matter as well. It's a similar kind of concept where you can float across space, and you can do that seated really well as well. So that's what I really liked it for. But yeah, Lone Echo 2, a lot of people have been waiting for this. This should have came out a year ago or maybe 2 years ago, I think. And it's been delayed. They've said this is going to be definitely the last one. But yeah, on the point of the Medal of Honor that we just spoke about, do you reckon that they probably want to port this game to Quest 2 eventually, or potentially a Quest Pro next year?
I imagine they'd want to do that, definitely. It'd be pretty cool to get like a Lone Echo package, with the first and second one. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they should have a Lone Echo 1 port for the Quest 2, already.
Yeah.
Trying to draw people into Lone Echo 2.
I think they've just had so many
yeah.
issues with releasing Lone Echo 2 that might be just something they want to look at afterwards.
Right.
But I think at least Lone Echo 1 to come to the Quest 2 only, like another exclusive, can be something. Just wonder how big that file is going to be.
It'd definitely be another doozy.
Yeah, the thing with Lone Echo 2 or Lone Echo 1 as well, it was nice because you can float around, pick up random objects and such, and it really adds to the immersion. And the thing with Medal of Honor, to reduce that file size, they took out a lot of the objects that you can just randomly find. So I don't know how difficult it is to bring Lone Echo to Quest. It might be a much harder task than Medal of Honor, to be honest. It is a much more in-depth game as well.
Yeah, it's more like open world from what I understand than like Medal of Honor is more like you spawn at your mission. It's more linear.
Exactly. So yeah, I think it'll be very difficult, but maybe for this potential Quest Pro next year, it might be something that releases with it, a launch title. Speaking about only for Quest 2 though, Resident Evil 4 VR has a release date of October 21st for the Quest 2. Samson, tell me about this game. Are you excited to play this, even though you hate horror games?
I'm probably not as excited as you or most other people, but it does look pretty sweet, and it'll certainly be a hit. I will give it my best whirl when it comes out. I don't know that I'll be able to finish this one, but it looks great from all the previews I've seen. Very immersive. I think there are just a few bits that aren't like the normal VR, like climbing ladders or hopping through windows. It goes into third person mode. But yeah, it looks great. Like interacting with guns and having ammo on yourself. And it looks scary.
It does look really scary. And it's going to be Resident Evil 4 is a long game. I can't remember what the hours were, but it was a fairly long game. So it's going to be a long one in VR. And yeah, in the new gameplay trailer, they showed how if you go up to a ladder, you can't actually climb the ladder like you would in, like, say, Walking Dead or something. You kind of just press the button and then you see your character climb up the ladder. And all the cutscenes are done in some sort of like cinema mode. So you're just sat there watching a big screen for the cutscenes, which is kind of a shame. But at the same time, what can you expect from a game that came out years and years and years ago that's being ported to Quest, right? It looks like a first-person shooter more than anything on the actual trailers, to be honest, to me.
Yeah, definitely.
And it might just feel like that in VR.
Quick Google says the main story is about 16 to 20 hours, and if you're a completionist, about 30 hours.
Yeah, so that's probably the longest game I've heard, to be honest, that is playing in Quest. But even though it's super long, it's going to be a 12 gigabyte download.
It's pretty small, reasonable.
Reasonable. Now that would be pretty large on the scale, but now that we spoke about Medal of Honor,
yeah,
a little tiny one. But a 12 gig download is no joke. Like these games, that 64 gig Quest is not going to last at all.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, yeah, the big games I can think of are like Vex was like 8 or 9, Myst is about 10.
Yeah.
Personally, my Synth Riders is over 11 because of all the custom songs.
Yeah.
So there are a few around 10 gigabyte ones already out there, but yeah, that at 64 gig isn't, unless you're got your Beat Saber machine, it's small.
It's true because, like we said earlier, 52 gig is usable. So if a lot of these new big blockbuster games are 10 gig, not counting Medal of Honor, that's just 5 games, and that's it. On the Quest. And if these games are so long, you probably want multiple games on there, and you want your Beat Sabers and such to be floating around. But yeah, I'm excited for this because in horror season, I just picked up Resident Evil 8 for the PS5, and I've just started playing that, and it's not scared me at all after playing it for the first 2 hours, which is weird. I don't know if I'm just getting more and more numb to these things, but maybe just because VR horror is way more scarier. I was actually playing the Resident Evil 8, and I was like, oh man, if this is in VR, every single moment right now, because at one moment there's this Wolverine, there's this werewolf that jumps at you from nowhere, and I just looked and I was like, yeah, okay, fair enough. Like it didn't make me jump at all, but I was like, if I was in VR,
the jump scares aren't as intense.
No, they're not as intense. Even if I was playing it at night yesterday, all alone, housemate's gone to bed, I've got the headphones on, I'm playing them like that, and it's still not getting scared. But it's only been the first 2 hours, so yeah. Resident Evil 7 got me more scared, but I did play that in VR, so I think that's probably why. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be fun for Halloween. I think I will be buying this on day one. I'm slightly a little worried of how it's going to play, to be honest, because it is, in the end of the day, it is a port. I know they've put a lot of work in to make it VR. I'm just slightly concerned on how well it's going to translate into VR, because first of all, it's a third-person game translated to VR, and all the puzzles in Resident Evil 4 have been redone to work in VR. I'm just really curious on how a game this old is going to work. That's not a first-person game at all, right.
Yeah, that's a big shift from third to first person. But I don't know. I know that they want to nail it, and I know that Resident Evil has a huge fan base, so they're probably hoping and banking on this one being a bit of a system seller.
Well, yeah. Speaking of that, I've seen people on Reddit and on the when this gameplay trailer got announced, and on Twitter, I just clicked on it to look at the comments, and people were like, "Yeah, I'm buying a Quest just for this." Buying it, they're hardcore fans out there.
Yeah.
For this, so.
Yeah, I noticed IGN put the gameplay footage, I think, to their main channel. Like IGN has a VR channel, but it's only like trailers. There's no like previews. There's no commentary. There's nothing else. It's like they've kind of given up on their VR channel, and this was pushed to their main channel. So there's definitely marketing behind this game.
Yeah, 100%. I'm excited to play it. It's starting to shape up to have. There's quite a few games, on the horizon, because I really think the Oculus producer that was on the Reddit forums for Medal of Honor, people were saying, "Oh, I'm buzzing! I can't wait." And he was like, "If you're excited about this, wait for the Connect." You know. So I'm
Yeah,
wondering if
it's gonna be fun.
there is going to be a few, or maybe just at least one more release coming out this year. Because I remember
Hmm.
last year they dropped for the September Connect, they dropped the Star Wars and the Jurassic World. You know, so we'll talk a little bit about Jurassic World later on, but I'm assuming this is what my prediction is right now. Resident Evil comes on October 21st, as we know. Then Medal of Honor comes in as your November 8th game, shall I say? And then, which is all the shooters like Call of Duty and Battlefield comes out on that time as well.
Oh
And then
yeah, for Veterans Day, yeah.
yeah, and then in December we have something else. And I feel like hopefully, what I'm hoping is that in December we have something that's not gun orientated or hardcore, or we've got a horror, a lot of
Facebook
guns.
Horizon.
Hey, maybe Moss 2
Yeah.
as a surprise.
I mean, yeah.
release.
That's definitely coming soon.
It's definitely coming soon. I just hope there's like I know there's people who play VR who are a little bit sick and tired of just pure shooters all the time. And there's a lot of shooter games. We already talked about Pistol Whip. Resident Evil 4 is now coming. We've got Medal of Honor coming. It's like, give us something that's not just shooter based.
Right.
And I'm hoping that a December release of a game, early December, is going to be something like that. But yeah, moving on to a game that isn't shooter based, and that's Walkabout Mini Golf. They've released a new course as a free update, which will be their 8th course, which will feature both day and night mode, just like all the other courses. It's called Quixote Valley, and it's set in a windmill type village. I tweeted at them, I was like, it feels like a Zelda game when they were doing the trailer, to be honest. The cool thing about this one, it's not just any old new course, which is still amazing at that anyway, is the fact that it's got a new wind mechanic.
Yep.
So essentially now, when you putt, you got to account for the wind. Samson, tell me a bit more about this wind mechanic.
Well, I've not gotten into it yet, but I have seen some of the videos, and it looks like it's like you would play wind in like a Tiger Woods game or something. It'll actually move your ball along the course. So just one more thing you'll have to account for while playing. And I'm excited to get in. I'll be definitely trying it out this weekend.
Yeah, I'm wondering if at night the wind is harsher, because
or multiple winds, cross winds.
Yeah, I think I saw in the trailer already crosswinds already. I'm excited. I was surprised to me that they brought a new mechanic in. I would have been happy with just the new map in general, because they always do their maps absolutely beautifully with the art style and the peaceful music, and it's such a relaxing game. It is the last course to have a free update, so this is just a free update. Now, future maps are going to be in small DLC packages, paid DLC, and they'll feature 3 courses at a time, and the first DLC is already being worked on. I'm happy to pay for these DLC courses.
Yeah.
Like, all these
it's
courses
incredible.
are fantastic.
Yeah. It's incredible that we've gotten so much free content.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, every course has been amazing. They're all worth whatever they cost.
100%. I wonder how much they would cost for 3 courses, but having 8 courses in there, and technically feels like 16, because it is a completely kind of different way you play for the day and night modes. For those of you who haven't played it, the night modes are much harder. Like, say if I'm putting on a green and there's like barriers either side, on night mode those barriers won't be there, so they make it a little bit more difficult. And there's collectible putters. There's like a in the night mode, for those of you who haven't played it, it's like a little riddle, or little clues that you have to just kind of follow across. I don't know how many clues there are normally. There's about 18 clues, or
I remember I feel like 12 or 13 on a couple
13.
of the courses.
Yeah, and then if you've managed to do all the clues, you'll get the special putter that's unlocked after each course, which is good. And then the day one, you find different golf balls. So this game is still not got boring for me. I still jump into it now and again. I'll definitely be jumping in it tomorrow, I think, or this weekend. I'm playing a bit of this new update. I'm excited to get into it. What more can we say about Walkabout Mini Golf? It's a must play. It's a must download. It
Yeah.
should be a built-in game on the Quest nowadays.
That's
It's
for
that
sure.
good. Yeah, so I'm excited to get into that. And then the final piece of news story that I just wanted to touch on, the developers of Wraith the Oblivion, who are fast travel games, they've announced that they're getting into VR publishing, which is what we kind of spoke about last week. And the CEO, Oscar Berman, stated, and I quote, "While we continue to develop and publish games on all major platforms, Quest has changed the game. For our most recent launch, Race the Oblivion Afterlife, Quest has accounted for 90% of sales since launch." And I end quote, which is astonishing, and that's why I mentioned before with Medal of Honor not having crossplay. I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah, that's a crazy number. I mean, I'd be curious what it is for a lot of the games out there. I imagine, it's got to be around there.
Yeah.
Quest
100%.
is keeping these developers, giving them opportunities for growth, really.
Definitely. And I think this VR publishing now with fast travel games is going to be just nothing but good news. It's going to be great for smaller titles just to increase their budgets. Imagine if they signed on to, say, Walkabout Mini Golf, and then they now, have a bigger budget to put even more craziest courses out there. I think this has got nothing but good things. This is hot off their $4 million funding that they got earlier this year, so that might have been something to do with it, that they've had in the works for a while. It was just interesting that we spoke about on, I think it was last week's podcast or the week before, how there's not many VR publishers, if any, and it looks like just Oculus are the only kind of real publishers who are pushing, and all the marketing is through their games. So I think it'll be really good with fast travel games. I know they work with like content creators, and they put a lot of money into Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife as marketing. So I think they can do the same with other titles out there. I hope they just don't stay with the horror kind of theme, and they just kind of branch out to many different VR titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is more money is only going to be good for these developers.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely excited for that. So that's the news. Let's get on to what we've been playing. Samson, I'll start with you. Captain Kirk, I called you earlier.
Yes.
Explain that.
I got into Star Trek Bridge Crew this week with a couple of my friends, and there's a little bit of friction as Ubisoft is just like, you have to have an Ubisoft account. It's only through like their friending and all that. But once you get going, this game is pretty fun. You're put right on the bridge, and your captain. I don't like the pressure of captain, so I'm never captain. But the captain basically has some sort of dialogue and guides you. There's some cut scenes where people like appear on the bridge like they would in normal Star Trek. And then you fly around, you transport people, you blow up other ships, and you try to make it home. And I'm not sure how many missions there are. I think I bought this on Steam with like the DLC in one of the like humble bundles or one of those. So I just got the whole package for reasonably cheap. But yeah, I've played total of about 3 hours. Each time we get in, we play for about an hour or so. Do 1 or 2 missions. But yeah, it's pretty fun.
Do you need a full crew in order to play? Or
No. So there is like definitely some sort of bot there. I don't know that the bot really does much. Like I normally we're at least 3, and there's 4 people that can play, and you can like take over for each role. So I'll basically play 2 roles, and one friend is the captain, and one will be the driver.
Got it. And it is obviously a solely multiplayer game. There's no single player aspect of it.
I do not believe so, but
Yeah.
I mean, a couple times, or the first time we played, we just did a public lobby, and people were jumping in. So It seems like, from my experience, that there are people playing. We were playing at night, Eastern time.
Yeah,
I don't know if that had an effect, but it seems like there's a player base out there if you don't have somebody to play with.
definitely. I think
Yeah.
it's a very popular game amongst the VR community, to be honest. It came out a lot while ago on, I think, PlayStation VR originally, and it's got crossplay as far as I'm aware. So people are,
Yeah, two of us played on Steam and one was on standalone Quest.
yeah, which is good. Do you know how it plays on standalone Quest? Or not?
He said it played reasonably well. I think at one point his mic cut out for him. We could
Hmm.
still hear him, but he couldn't hear us or know that he was hearing us. But yeah, it probably happened during one of the games at the end. But
Okay.
other than that, it seemed pretty seamless.
Yeah, Star Trek Bridge Crew. Yeah, I've never really played it because I always thought obviously you need that many people playing the game, so you need to know those at least
Yeah.
four dedicating or three dedicated to play it. But I guess the public rooms are good.
Yeah, personally, I much prefer to play, as our listeners know, with IRL friends.
Hmm.
I would not enjoy this game as much playing with people I didn't know. But
Hmm.
if you're a big enough Star Trek fan, I imagine you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, and
Um,
if you've got no friends to play Star Trek, then let us know in the Discord.
yeah, exactly.
Definitely.
Um, and then the other game I got into was early access of Samurai Slaughterhouse by Tab Games. Very early access game, but super duper gory and pretty fun to swing that samurai sword around and slaughter the enemies.
I saw. I know you put a live stream up or YouTube video up of you just playing it, and I couldn't stop laughing because it has like walkabout mini golf type music, just relaxing, but you're like going to town on somebody, and it's just blood everywhere, and I was like, this guy's a psycho.
Yeah, you can just absolutely soak them. Actually, the soundtrack's available on Spotify and I believe other platforms as well. If you just like search Samurai Slaughterhouse tab games,
Mhm.
so you can listen to it. It's definitely got some fun anime style music.
Definitely, it looks really fun. It's like you said, it's in super early access right now.
Yeah, I think right now you can get it on itch for $30, or I subscribe to his Patreon, and so he releases updates with it there. But yeah,
Okay.
it's very early on. Not much to do in it right now. He's still trying to figure out things.
Mhm.
Definitely a little glitchy here and there.
Is it
But
just the
looks
one person developing it?
Yes, it is. Yeah. He actually, I think his name's Justin. He recently was on a fireside chat with Eric for President.
Hmm.
If you're interested in getting to know him or the project a little bit more. But it sounds like it's going to be a PSVR 2 release title as well.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. Because I looking at your video, it looks like that would be a popular game amongst people, to be honest. Just
Yeah.
to hack and slash and just chill out
Yeah, exactly.
in a
Yeah. I
way.
think he's trying to make it more like an RPG element, like you go interact with people, you go on certain missions, you bring them back whatever they asked for, that type of deal. There's like a little ninja dude that you can get who follows you around and helps you battle.
Hmm.
Um,
I think you
yeah,
nailed
it's
it with the name. Samurai Slaughterhouse is a fantastic name.
for sure.
And I think people get hyped on just the name alone. They'll be like, "Oh yeah, this looks fun,"
Yeah.
So yeah, awesome. Have you played anything else, or was it those two?
No, just those two. I've been traveling a lot this week. How about you?
Yeah, fair enough. For me, I've also just been playing two games, to be honest. One, I finished Jurassic World Aftermath Part One, just in time for the second one. I have not played the second one yet. It came out yesterday on time of recording, which is September 30th, right? Yeah, it came
When it
out.
came out, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, September 30th. I haven't played the second part yet, but I looked at reviews of people. I looked at the VR Oasis one. I didn't look at his gameplay because I didn't really want to spoil it for myself because then wanted to jump in. But I just skipped to the end to see what his thoughts are, and he said it is more of the same, which I kind of expected, to be honest. And he said it could get a little bit not boring, but I guess boring is the word, like just a repeat of just the same mechanic and hiding away. But to be honest, when I finish, and now I want to speak about it a little bit more because now I've played the full first part of it, and it's really fun. I think there are pros and cons. The pros would be in the first part there, without giving away spoilers, there are basically two different type of games. You've got the first part of it is you're hiding from the Velociraptor. You're trying to get the right switches or get to the right terminals, etc. Turn on the radio tower. So that's like the first part. You're a lot of hiding away from the Velociraptor, which is, I got caught a few times, and when I did get caught, it's scary because like the dinosaur's just running at you, and you can run and try and hide, but there's not much you can do, you know. And when it jumps at you, it just freaked me out when it jumps at you, about to bite you, and then it all goes to black, or about to eat you, shall I say. It is fun in the first part, but I can see what VOasis was talking about, how it can get repetitive. I think that's not really more of an issue. The problem for me in that first part was there was not a lot of interactivity with the whole world itself. You could go to every nook and cranny in that world, and there'll just be nothing there. Everything's there by design. You can't interact with anything unless it's part of the game or if it's certain audio logs to get more of the story. Apparently there are little dinosaur plush toys that you can find. I didn't find any, or I don't know if that's just in part 2, to be honest, just to add more things to do in that world. But to me, I was like, I just got past the Velociraptor, did the stuff, did what I needed to do on the task, and then just came back. Where it would be cool if there was a little bit more of an incentive to explore the world a bit more, because it is beautiful in the cell shaded graphics. But I wish there was just a little bit more, and it could be in part 2. I just haven't played that yet. Hopefully I can play that and talk a little bit of it before next week's podcast. And then the second part of the first part, shall I say, because it feels like it's split, is really cool because you are in the complete darkness and all you have is a torch, and you're trying to go through the undergrounds, trying to get to different places, and they have a new dinosaur which does something else to you, which I don't really want to spoil for people who want to play the game.
For our American listeners, is a torch a flashlight?
Yeah, sorry, a flashlight. Yes, a torch or flashlight. Good call there. You're going through. You're trying to set the pressure of the pipes and such. But it's a really good one because it's completely different than just running and hiding from the Velociraptor. It's a completely different aspect. So I like that there was 2 different parts, and I hope in the second part they have something similar where there is 2 different type of game mechanics going on. But I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I wish there was more elements. It's what the people at Medal of Honor said when they're coming out with the Quest 2 port, that they have reduced the amount of elements that you can interact with around the world, which I don't think is going to be so much of a concern in Medal of Honor, but it's a game that you're just literally trying to escape and explore the world. You need a little bit more interactivity. Well, The Walking Dead has way more stuff to find and use and gives it incentive to go back to the world to try and find. I feel like for me, unless there are plush toys, in this first part, I have no incentive to go back to the first part at all. At the same time, I'm really glad that I waited because it was only 2 hours 40 minutes or so, I think, my playtime. Actually, last week when I said I want to wait to finish it before I talk too much about it, put the headset on, it was 2 minutes, and then I finished the game. I was already at the end. I thought there was another big part, but no, I was already pretty much at the end. So I would still recommend that first part, or you can wait for me and after I play the second part for next week's episode to see if I like the full package. before jumping into it. But that's Jurassic World. Samson, you jumped into that yet or not at all?
Nope.
I feel like you've jumped into Star Wars. I've jumped into Jurassic World, and together we're gonna have both games completed.
Exactly.
The second game I played was like you, an early access. I jumped back into the Top Golf with Pro Part beta, which has the full swing courses in there, and I spoke a little bit about this maybe 2 months ago, and I didn't really want to speak too much because it was in such early and there was issues with it, and I didn't really enjoy it, so I didn't really want to say anything bad about the game yet because it's not in full development. Now jumping back into it 2 months later for the first time, it has excelled a lot. There's now 2 courses, both look stunning, absolutely beautiful. A good field of view as well. Not as stunning as like a Walkabout course, but considering this is like full scale, it still looks beautiful. The swing mechanics feel better now. Before, I was losing a lot of tracking with the Quest when I would go up to swing. That seems to be eliminated. It might have been just a glitch before. The putting feels really good. The choice of clubs feels good. Like if I put less power on it, it will go less, which I'm kind of sometimes worried about with VR, where if I just swing like just half-ass it, would it still hit it really well? Right. And it doesn't. I completely sliced a few shots as well. So it does a really good job. I'm very impressed with the tracking, and I still don't know when this is planned to come out, but it's looking really, really good. It's looking really good. And I think if you just shoot Ryan a message or the Top Golf people a message on Twitter, they'll probably give you a code for the beta if you want to try it out as well.
Yeah, you can. I think you can get in touch with them on their Discord as well.
Yeah, exactly. And they'll send you a beta code just to try it out. I'm very impressed with it, and I'm looking forward to when this is finally ready to be released to the public, because I think this is going to get a lot of people into VR who like golf. And I think someone like my dad, for example, who loves golf, I think he'll be finally inclined to try and play VR. Maybe I'll just send him my 64 gig Quest.
There you go.
I think so. Speaking about that quickly, actually, this is not what we've been playing. With the rumors last week, what we talked about with the Oculus Plus, I think if that gets announced, I think I'm just going to pick that up, Samson. I think I'm going to go for it. I hope there's a 512 version, 128, or maybe they'll skip 128 and they'll just go 256, 512. I hope it is. I wonder if the 128 that came out a couple months ago was just because they knew Medal of Honor was going to be.
Oh, yeah, like 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it was just that was made for Medal of Honor.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing. I think hopefully for next week I'll play a bit of Jurassic World. And kind of that's it, really. Maybe more Synth Riders next week as well. We haven't really spoke about Synth Riders this week, which is a bit weird.
Yeah, not at all. I actually haven't played it this week or really Beat Saber, and no rhythm games for me this week. Wow. I've just been doing a boatload of driving.
I need to check Samson's temperature. We're wondering if he's okay.
Yeah. I felt a little under the weather, waiting to hear back about my COVID test. But yeah, I've driven over 1,400 miles in the last 7 days.
Didn't get any chance of Synth Riders, so that's fine. We got a couple games coming out next week, which we're going to talk about in the games released this week. Samson, do you want to start?
I got it. Shadowgate VR, The Mines of Mythrock, October 7th. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. The first book in the Shadowgate saga, Shadowgate VR, The Mines of Mythrock, brings the hit adventure series to virtual reality. Step into the fantasy world of Kale Torlin like never before and immerse yourself in this exciting action-adventure game made exclusively for the Oculus Quest. With Odin the Raven as your guide and 3 difficulty levels to fit your playstyle, it's time to discover what secrets await within the mines of Mythrock. Explore ancient dungeons, wield elemental magic, solve devious puzzles, and more.
Are you interested in this?
I don't know enough about it,
Yeah.
honestly. But probably not.
No, me neither. Just because I'm not really into that type of fantasy genre.
Yeah.
Um, I think Demio's probably the only one exception, to be honest.
It
But
plays a lot differently though, yeah.
if there's yeah, it's a completely different type of game, which we need to play that again. It's been too long. Maybe this Sunday. Um, I I don't think I'm gonna pick this one up, but it looks pretty good if you're into that if you're into that fantasy genre. I like the puzzle aspect of it. It's got puzzles, magics, dungeons, as you just said. It looks really well done. It looks like a really well polished game, just judging from trailers and such. But we'll just wait and see for this one. October 7th for that. But yeah, I won't be picking up, but hey, some of you who are listening are into that fantasy genre might want to.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
sure. I'm sure if you're interested in watching gameplay footage, BMF, Gamertag, VR, and probably a few others will be playing that one.
yeah, definitely. Let's go into the second release. I believe this is the second and only release coming out next week. We got Loco Dojo Unleashed, October 7th. Enter the whimsical wooden world of Loco Dojo and step up to the Grand Sensei Table of Trials. To pit your silliest skills against up to 3 friends or strangers in this hilariously competitive multiplayer party game. This already speaks to Samson straight off the gate, and there's still a couple more paragraphs to read. Take turns to spin the wheel and move your counter around the dojo's game board, acquiring strategic prizes and launching ludicrous trials in which to compete with your rival players to prove yourself as a master of martial madness. Discover a wealth of wacky inputs woven through 16 ridiculous minigames, perform well, and win a pile of golden suns to please Grand Sensei, earning the right to enter the temple where overall victory can be claimed in an asymmetric showdown of epic absurdity. No friends? No problem. Grand Sensei's 10 trial test provides a highly replayable mode that's different every time you play. Do you have what it takes to obtain the fabled black headband or hone your skills in the solo dojo to unlock more avatar masks? Samson?
Sounds great. I love myself a multiplayer game. Hopefully I can convince a couple friends to pick this one up. I know it's been out for PC VR for a while now, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks fun, and I love a good multiplayer game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fantastic, and we're actually going to be playing it this Sunday with the folks at VR Verdict Podcast, which is going to be fun. I'll see if we can stream it or post a video up on the channel. It's been a while. But it just looks fun. It just looks like a lighthearted, full of mini games, and just like I don't know how long this game will take to play, like a full round with 4 people. But I think it'd be really fun. Really fun to play, and that comes out next October 7th. Speaking of VR Verdict, they've got the developers on their podcast for next week. So definitely check that out. I think it'll be on Saturday, just the Saturday just after launch, which will be Saturday the 9th, I believe, that they have the podcast with them. So definitely check that out. But yeah, I am actually excited. I think it'll just be a fun day, fun Sunday playing.
Yeah, definitely.
Playing with the boys, playing with the boys. A little bit of sensei. I'm interested to see the single player mode. I like that they've included the 10 trial test, and it's different every time you play. I think that's a really good idea for a lot of games. I think Star Trek should have that if they haven't, to be honest. It definitely makes it more accessible. It's like Demio. Like I bought it and then was playing just the single player for a bit just to get used to it before I wanted to dive into public modes, right? So yeah, I think this is gonna be a fun game, and I think it'll be a nice light-hearted game before Resident Evil 4.
Definitely a different vibe.
Definitely a different vibe. And with that, that's all we have today in today's podcast. A lot of game updates in the end. we'll have a lot more coming out soon. I'm sure with the Oculus Connect. Samson, I was thinking maybe we should do like a live podcast during the Connect, or just after the podcast, just after the Connect finishes, just so we can update the viewers on everything that's happening.
I'm up for whatever works. I definitely think we should get another predictions episode where we try to get predictions from other folks as well.
Well, we'll definitely do that. Looking on the calendar, we've got the 28th is the Thursday, so maybe for Tuesday's episode on the 26th, we can release a predictions episode.
Maybe some listener predictions too, if they want to mail some in.
Definitely mail some in at letstalkoculus@gmail.com. Visit the Patreon. Jump in the Discord. You don't need Patreon, but there is a Patreon-only Discord server on there as well. And with that, thank you so much for listening. Enjoy Jurassic World if you are playing it. And we'll see you next week.